there, I'm Peridhi. I'm an interior designer and founder of a Delhi-based interior design firm called Molyar. So in my last video, which was a balcony makeover, I shared this resin table as well as these custom made resin handles for the cupboard. So today I'm gonna walk you through how I made these. For starters, what is resin? Resin is basically a chemical which comes in two parts. One is a resin part and one is a hardener part. Based on the brand, they come in different proportions. You have to mix these two in the specified proportions and then you can just pour it on a surface. Once you pour it on a surface, it becomes hard like glass. The finishing of it becomes something like this. And if you can see, like I'm knocking on it, it's looking like glass. It's reflective like a glass. So here for this project, I started with a piece of a log of wood. I bought a pre-polished piece, but you can procure like a normal raw finish piece, which any local painter can finish off for you. So now where do you get this particular piece? You can just go to any local timber market and find these kind of logs there. I found it in Kirtinagar Timber Market in New Delhi. Just figure out in your city where the timber market is and you'll definitely find these there. My concept for this table was to create sort of a lake in the middle of it, because since it already had a crater in the middle. So for the lake effect, I wanted to have a slight level difference of about 2 mm, and what I did was I took this piece to the CNC machine or the laser machine, and this will for sure be very close by in the timber market as well. And that guy just laser cut this particular lake shape onto my piece. You just have to tell them the kind of shape you want and the kind of depth you want and the kind of dimensions you want, and they'll do it for you. So once I had this piece, I got it to my workshop, and in my workshop we start with first priming the piece. So for priming it, I'm using gesso, and it's a compound. Again, you can find it in any local shops, or you can also find it on Amazon or online. A lot of places have it. Once the primer is put, I let it dry over for like a day. Once the primer is done, you're ready to pour your resin. So for resin, I am using the Fortune Chemi resin or Epoch resin. They go by two names. It's a little confusing, but I'll put the links down below. For the projects that you're doing inside your home, please use art resin because it's non-toxic. Other resins are a lot toxic and they can create a lot of breathing issues in a longer run. So make sure that you use art resin, especially if kids are working with it or you are also working with it and you're working inside your house in a closed area. I mix my resin. It's very important to mix your resin very well. So in the specified quantity, mix your resins and stir it well until you don't see any strings. And once it's mixed up, I pour it into different containers. And in these containers, I add a bit of color as well. So I'm using white and I'm using grey and I'm using a white pearl as well. So once I have these ready, now it's very important to understand that resin starts hardening in about 45 minutes or so. Again, that depends on the kind of resin you are using. So this resin, you have about 40 to 45 minutes of working time. So it's very important to act quickly once the resin is mixed up in the pigments. So I start by pouring it, and then again I'm trying to mimic a sort of a very fluid pattern. So here is where you let your creativity loose and do different patterns that you want to do. Once I've poured everything, I let it dry overnight. It takes about 24 hours for it to cure and 72 hours to fully cure. So once it is done, you let it be. Now for the legs for this table, I got these U-pin legs which are very easily available in the local markets. These are normal MS legs which are powder coated in a black color. Then I mark these 3 positions so that it's well balanced in a triangle position, and I screw on these legs onto my resin table, and this is how it finally turned out. So in my workshop, I got my carpenter to cut these sort of organic shapes, and then on these organic shapes I repeated the same process of putting gesso and pouring the resin in this similar manner, and then I also let them cure for overnight. Now the good part about resin is that if you're not satisfied with how it turns out, you can do another layer, and you can easily screw on this nut into your almirah, and you're good to go. So I really love how it all turned out, and how it's looking, and how cohesive it looks, and how unique it is, because the thing with custom pieces and why I love them so much is that it's one of a kind. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe if you like this video, and if you have any questions you can ask me in the comments down below, or you can also DM me on Instagram and I'll make sure that I help you out. Thanks a lot for watching this video. I'll see you next time. Bye.